Hi, everybody. Happy to have you here with me in the locker room. I'm Alan Locher, and we are celebrating an extraordinary milestone 60 years of Days of Our Lives. Joining me are two icons whose on screen love story has captured hearts for nearly 4 decades. Stephen Nichols and Mary Beth Evans, known to fans around the world as Steve Patch Johnson and Kayla Brady Johnson. From their first meeting in Salem to the unforgettable moments that made them one of Daytime's most beloved couples, we will look back on their journey, the magic of their connection, and what keeps their story so timeless. Please help me welcome Stephen Nichols and Mary Beth Evans to the locker room.
Hello.
Hello.
Thanks
Hello,
for
everybody.
having us. So nice.
Thank you for being here. If you don't mind, Mary Beth, I'm going to start with Stephen. His
Yeah.
video from the 60th anniversary
Oh,
was amazing. I just loved the energy. I know Mary Beth couldn't be there, but would you share what Saturday night was like for you?
Well, it was a beautiful celebration to see the cast and crew come together. And, generally we have parties and Emmys and that, but we don't see the crew members with us. But it was really special to have so many people from the crew who we don't normally see. We don't meet their partners, their spouses. And that's really a treat to see them and they introduce us to their wives and husbands and children, and I guess no children were allowed, but it was really great. I think that was really my favorite part of the whole thing, and also it was kind of it was low key. It wasn't such a big lavish production, and there's nothing wrong with that. We had a really great party for the 50th and music, and all of us got to sing and perform and do things.
help.
And we had pillows and a lot of giveaways.
Pillows.
This was more, yeah, they had, beautiful pillows, and we could send them off to our families and friends. And anyway, this was really nice, low key, sweet. Ken was there. He spoke very briefly, and we were all happy to be there and happy to celebrate 60 years. My goodness.
Nothing
Amazing.
like it.
Nothing
Yeah.
like it. It looked quite a bit of fun. Well, you Stephen joined in year 1985. What do you remember those early days of walking in?
Oh, when like the first day or just the first few
Yeah,
months or?
no. I mean, if you remember the first day, go ahead.
Oh, I don't. Well, I tell the story all the time about my first day when my wife saw the scene that I did where I walked in, Mr.
Tough.
Goofy, tough guy. I had this thing where I kind of went, and my wife said, "Did you pick your nose?" And I said, "No, honey, no. It's like Seinfeld. It was a scratch, not a pick." And it wasn't a pick, but she said
I
it
have to say,
really
I've
looked like
never
it.
heard that story, but
Oh, really? I've
no.
told it. I've told it. Anyway,
Where
that's
have I been?
that. But it was those first. I would have to say the first year, 2 years, especially when Mary Beth finally came on after a year of being there, where it was one of the most creative times in my life, and I will always remember it fondly. It. I had to pinch myself. I couldn't believe that I had such a great job working on such a great character with a bunch of great actors, and the writing was superb back then. It was, I was having a really good time.
You were so good. We follow this. I don't know if Steven does, but I always pitch this Patch and Kayla fan page,
Yeah.
Instagram.
Oh, they're
And
great.
that's what she
Trish.
puts up old clips all the time.
Yeah.
I'm blown away always by all the stuff that Steven did. I mean, he had something going on all the
Well,
time.
right
I
back
was a
at
bit
you, baby.
naive and soft spoken, but I think you were amazing.
Oh no, you were right there. That's the other thing about this. I always say this, and it's really from the heart. It's so true. I would never have been so successful at this job without this woman right here, without
Yeah,
Mary Beth.
sweet of you.
Well,
We're
that's
very
amazing.
lucky.
Well, Mary Beth, you joined a year later in 1986. What, if you remember, what was your impression when you first read who Kayla was?
Well, I had never seen the show, so that was one thing, and I was an All My Children fan, I guess. I mean, I wasn't really a soap fan, but and then when I went in to read with Steven, and he was, with that patch, and he had the scar for it back then, and the leather jacket, and the whole thing. I was like, what is this? Whatever. But what was so great about then is that they really invested in these coupledoms, and from the first day I was ever even on the show, they had already paired us up, and they really invested in couples. And I mean, look at us. I mean, we're pretty close to the only people standing now that are still together from then. But that was the way they did it back then, and it was really amazing. I mean, there were several, obviously these couples. John and Marlena, Hope and Bo, Kimberly and Shane, and us. And I mean, it was an amazing time. The soaps were so fun, and we did so many adventures and fun things. And I think, though, for us now, it's so cool that we can play our own age, and just these people have evolved. And of course, we need some grandkids and stuff, but
We're talking about that.
yeah, but I think it's an amazing gift. I think Steve and I would both say it's a gift to our lives, and it's been wonderful. And the girl, we were so lucky with the daughters that we have had, the kids that we've had, all of them. But first it was Shelly, and she was amazing. Now we got Abigail, and these girls are sweet, sweet, sweet inside and out, and amazing. We just got so lucky. So we're still.
We had some scenes with our Abigail, our little sweetness today, and she's just remarkable. And
well,
when
it's
you work with
incredible
her,
that they paired you from the get-go.
Yeah,
it's
amazing.
I mean, Mary Beth,
we're so lucky.
You met him in the, when you went in for the part.
Yeah, right from the very beginning. Yeah,
I mean, it's
and
incredible.
I just was I was so the innocent, and he was the bad boy. And it's funny because I know a lot of women like that scenario in life, but that's not me. But we've had a lot of fun. And you know what? I always think that what made it so great was the Patch character. Was always had this really sensitive side underneath, and that he was just mostly covering up and that kind of thing. So I think that's part of the reason that it was so successful, because he really had a heart of gold.
Stephen, do you remember your audition?
I did not have an audition. I was lucky enough to have a great casting director who was a big supporter of mine, and she went to all of my theater productions at the time. I was doing a lot of plays, and she just called me one day and without the agent, the whole thing, and said, "I got this part. It's going to last a few months, but the guy's he carries a knife, wears a leather jacket and a patch, and he's crazy." She said, "Go, you'll be great." And
I had to do a whole screen test and everything. Mine was way more, but
mine was a recurring role, so she could do that. They didn't test those,
right?
And after 3 months, and
he worked it.
I really worked it. I really did. I thought, what a great thing to play a character on a soap who has a patch. He's not like everybody else. He's not like your typical soap hunk, super handsome dude. He's got this. He has problems, and I really got into it, and I dug deep and just came up with stuff, and they kind of followed my lead for the most part, and they wrote great story. And then Mary Beth came on, and it got even better. And all the stuff with Bo and Hope and Shane and the whole thing at that time was a miracle. It was so well done.
Yeah.
How familiar were you with soaps yourself, Stephen, before walking in?
Not in the least bit. Not familiar at all. My sister, when I was a kid, I was outside running around. I never sat down to watch television during the day. But my sister, when I got on this show, she was so excited because I didn't even know that she had been watching soaps her whole life. And my little brother was doing imitations of Barnabas Jones or whatever he was on Dark Shadows. And I wasn't there because I just didn't do that. But it was fun to find out.
Yeah, I didn't watch him until high school. Although I remember being a smaller kid when Young and the Restless and all that started up. But I didn't really watch it, or I think it was really high school.
Well, everyone is so excited you're here. Megan says happy 60th anniversary days.
Yeah.
Jody says best scene when Patch allowed Kayla to remove his patch to clean the wound. I cried and I cried.
No. Because see, that's the thing. It's such a tough exterior, and that she was able to break through. It was really beautiful. There were some really beautiful moments along the way here.
Yeah. Well, we have to thank the writers for that. You know, without that material, we couldn't do. I mean, what would we do? We don't write it,
Right.
so we're lucky.
I just last night saw a bunch of Seinfeld bloopers, but how they couldn't get through scenes because of laughing sometimes. And I mean, I could relate so much with that, because Stephen and I, nothing has, we can make each other laugh, or just the scene that we're in, whatever it is, where we've had times where they're like, do we have to move on? I mean, this doesn't happen anymore because we move much quicker. But back then,
It does
my God,
happen.
we just had hysterical laughing, hysterical.
It does happen, but we try to
Do you
control
remember
it
a scene
pull it
where
desperately.
you two couldn't stop laughing?
You
Yeah,
remember?
every time
Oh.
you start, you just start laughing. So you got to really pull
Mary
it
Beth
together.
is the kind of person who can't. If she gets tickled at all, she goes completely off.
Well,
And
also,
then-
if I'm super stressed, like learning a lot of lines, and stressed from learning lines, and then
Yeah.
the littlest thing will send me over the edge, and I'll just be hysterically laughing till then I'm crying and laughing, and it's just a total disaster. So I try. I'll be with Stephen, like, no, don't even look. Don't.
I can't even look at her, because if I look at her, she'll keep going, and I have to kind of pull back. Oh my God!
But what a fun place. We're lucky, lucky, lucky.
When you both walked through those doors, was there someone who took you under their wing, helped you learn the ropes?
Gosh, it was 40 years ago. You.
Well, I
I don't know
know.
about that. I'll
I
say
don't know
one
about that.
thing.
I mean, my
Shelley
scenes were with
Curtis.
Stephen, and Shelley Curtis, yeah,
Shelley
she was.
Curtis was, created these beautiful love scenes, montages, and she's the one who, on the day that I was supposed to be shot and killed, had come out on the set that day. And I think Pete had just thrown some fruit at me. We were in some fruit market, and I was chasing Pete and Melissa. And she came out and said, listen, you're not dying. We're not killing you. I said, oh, okay. That's nice.
That's great.
So, she was really in our corner.
She was, and she really
in every way.
She really
And so was Al
worked
Rabin.
that super couple thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
She's always one that they added the blowing curtains and the candles and the music, and
They
it
took
was
such
good
time with
time.
these love scenes.
Yeah.
They were beautiful.
Yeah.
I love that. I mean, I love that they put so much attention into that. Speaking of attention, your eye patch has become, one of the most iconic visual symbols. I've read where you've mentioned how important it was for you to keep it part of the character. What does it mean? What does the patch represent to you personally?
Well, Steve is a very different person now, but at the time, he used it. He was so uncomfortable with it at first, and so resentful that this happened to him. But what he did was he used it to cover his feelings. He used it so that he could create this bad persona. So if anybody tried to get in, he could be a badass. So, and now it's sort of it's a symbol of pride for Patch, that he has this. He's worn this all his life. He's survived. He has this wonderful wife and family, and he wouldn't have it any other way.
It's funny. You guys talking about it. I don't even notice it. I don't even.
Well, that's the other thing.
Yeah, I talked to him. I mean, I was just when you're saying that, I'm thinking, yeah, I guess he does wear a patch. Like, I don't even think about it. But as an actor, it's good. Have you ever seen actors on a show and they're looking like kooky back and forth to somebody, and their eyes like that? I never had to do that because I only focus on one eye.
I love
I've
that.
never heard you say that before.
Yeah, it's the truth. I don't have to do all that goofy, back and forth thing.
Yeah.
Well, it's definitely, it really is iconic. Like, I mean, people know exactly who it is immediately. It's
and that's what I loved about it from the very beginning.
People
That's
say,
what I loved
"Oh, you're
about
on a soap. Which one are you on?" And I'll say, "Oh, I'm on Days of Our Lives. I'm with the guy with the patch."
Yeah,
I always say that because they always know who that is.
Yeah,
it's so true.
It served me well.
Yeah.
Mary Beth, was there a moment or perhaps the first storyline that you made that you realized Kayla was going to be a character fans truly connected to?
Never. Actually, no. No, because I just, we just have gone. I know. I have to say no. I just do it as honestly as I can, and I think she might be a little more self-righteous than me in real life, but I think it kind of. I think she just tries to do the right thing, and that's how I've always approached it. And no, I have to say, I
But
never thought.
that's you saying that she's always tried to do the right thing is probably why she connected to
Mhm.
that people. I think people appreciate a person
She has
who
a pretty
tries.
high moral standard. I mean, she's done
Yeah.
a little more shady now in her old age, but always wanting the best from people.
Well, your chemistry, is undeniable. Did it click immediately? Did it evolve naturally over time as you got to know each
It
other
was
off
always
camera?
there. We've always been good friends from the first day. And I mean, we say this to people, but I mean, I think that's part of the reason it works so well is because we're really good friends.
Yeah.
And we can say, here's an example. I kind of look at things quickly, so I don't exactly see the words as they're really supposed to be said, or I might be missing some words, or I don't have the right grammar. And Stephen is always standing there with the script, giving me the little corrections. Where some actors might be irritated with that, but for me, it's a blessing because he keeps me on track. So, and I keep it light. He's more of a serious person, and I'm not. So I think the balance for the two of us is pretty good.
It's
I
pretty
lift
nice.
him up with my balloon, and he pulls the string back up.
No, I'm
He pulls
always
it back down.
I'm always like a couple of quarts low when I'm at work and she's not there. I just am. She really does cheer me up all the time.
Yeah, sheesh.
I mean, that's a good way to go to work, Stephen, isn't it?
A couple of quarts
yeah.
low.
No, but to be cheered up.
No.
Yeah.
No,
Oh,
but-
absolutely.
Yeah.
No, if I'm in a bad mood and I go to work and I see Mary Beth, there's always some joy and light and something, and she's just she's bubbly. She's full of life.
Yeah, I got a good life.
And
Helps.
everyone at the studio notices that too. Everybody loves Mary Beth. She's
You're
the
sweet.
real deal. It's true.
Sweet. Yeah.
Mary Beth, have you always been that way? Sort of
Yes,
looking
from
at
birth.
your script and
Yes, I've been happy my whole life. The script. Oh yeah. I have a lot of stuff like that.
Liz Hubbard, you working with Liz Hubbard must have been.
She cracked me up. She was so funny because she was so good, but from where I had come from, it was a lot of overacting. She was so big and so broad, and at first I thought, man, is she gonna pull this off? But she did, and I loved her. We used to, out there, they would take you in car services, and we went together all the time. What?
But you both, didn't necessarily follow the script.
I actually do follow the script. I'm talking about when we're running the scenes. I always, when I'm out there, I do it right because they, they sit with like a pencil in the booth tapping, and that's how they edit as they go, and the cameras switch and stuff. So if they can't follow you, if you're not saying what's written, it's a huge problem. So I'm talking about in our rehearsal process. He will stand there with the script going, no. But I do pull it together.
That's not on set. That's when we were.
Yes, when we're just running them back.
It's
mostly
grammar. It's mostly grammar, and
right.
I don't even mess with the doctor jargon because you have enough trouble with that, and I couldn't do it.
I get my husband to phonetically say it out for me. But well, here's the thing, Alan, I'll tell you. I was once at the grocery store and I said to the guy, "What's the difference between a hen and a rooster?" At the butcher, And he goes, "Well, I don't know. I've never had a rooster." I go, "Well, you have it right here." He goes, "It's a roaster." And that is exactly what happens. I just sort of skim over things and don't look closely. So that's what that's about.
Oh my God, that is the best story. I love it.
Always in a hurry. Always in a hurry.
A fan just asked, which I think is great. What is the one scene or storyline that when you opened the script, you thought, I'm a good actor, but not that good of an actor? Was there a moment?
How about Stephen-O? For him to be Stephen-O.
Now, wait a minute.
And if I had to say he had a chip in his head one more time, And we were just talking about it today that Lindsay and I, the surgeons, went through this whole big thing about removing that chip. And it was like the size of the end of my fingernail. Like it was so tiny. Yeah,
that was
that whole
that
story.
little thing contained all of Stefano's consciousness.
All of it was
his essence.
kooky. But
yeah.
I love that. You've both worked with some incredible actors and scene partners. Is there an actor, a number of actors who you feel sort of shaped you the most or brought something out new?
You know what? Speaking of that Stephen O thing, when Wally and I, they put us together as a boyfriend and girlfriend thing, and both of us at first were resistant, and he kept saying, "Well, I'm never going to win out here because Pat's going to win in the end. I know it." But we just decided we would just try to give it a go and make it different, and we actually had a really good time. And Steve and I both love him. We've known him 100 years,
and he's a wonderful actor.
And a wonderful guy, and that was really fun. I had
worked for a while.
Yeah. But going back, I think of this often. Peggy McKay, she was amazing and so professional and so great. But there was something she did that was so great. And I always think about this. She was the most amazing like background person. Like she was always with props and wiping something down or doing something, a towel over. So she always was busy. And there was a time when I came back on the show and I was working in the pub and not hardly working, and I'm thinking like, oh, this is kind of sad. And I thought, I'm gonna be the best background player, and I'm back there marrying the condiments and folding napkins. And I got that all from her because that's who she was. That's where she came from in the theater or whatever. And so I might say her. And when we played the story of her getting some dementia or whatever, I could barely do those scenes with her. I was so choked up. I mean, I just loved her. She was great. And then towards the end of her life, Stephen and I went over to her house, and he brought his harmonica, and she did the Kayla Brady rap. And Stephen heard she liked cheesecake, and he brought her like 6 different types of cheesecake. It was adorable. She was the best.
Oh, wow. And Stephen, for you?
Well, there are several people who, I don't know if there's not one in particular, except Mary Beth being my partner, because with Mary Beth, it's obvious, there's such comfort and such chemistry. I'm not sure I even like that word, but just we connected. And that was special. But I remember working with John Aniston a few times. And this is a guy who back in the 80s was married to cue cards. Okay, married to them. He always had them. He never learned a line, and he just read those lines, but you could never tell he was reading his lines.
Yeah.
And I was a little irritated because I like to be in scenes with actors who are looking at me and not over there to get the line. So at first I thought, and then I watched what he was doing, and the guy was brilliant.
It was intriguing. You could get lost in just watching how he does it. But I remember doing a scene with him at like the pub or some restaurant thing, and I'm talking and he's looking at his lines, and he just very casually looks back and says his line, and I thought, that is such a art form. Like I know that I'd be caught like, oh camera, oh no, oh yeah, like I'd be caught. But he had it down. It was amazing.
And also,
Alan, wait, I got to tell Alan, what's so funny? He said when we would see him in those last, 5 years or whatever, when he come in, and I go, John, how are you doing? He goes, just collecting natural causes. Remember that?
Yes.
He's sort of funny, dry sense.
He never complained.
Really
he was in poor health for a long time, and he never complained. He just came to work, drove him to work, and got in his chair on the set and did his stuff.
Yeah.
And he never complained. And I want to say another person who really affected me. And in the last 5 years of his life, I was working very closely, and that was Drake.
Yeah.
And I always knew that Drake was a trooper, and first on set, first person in the studio, working out and getting ready. Always knew his lines, really committed. He never complained. He never complained about other actors. He never complained about how much material he had, nothing like that. And working with him closely at the end,
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
really uplifting. It was really uplifting to
We all
have him
loved
as
him
my
so much.
partner. I was so full of love for this guy, and it just grew and
Yeah.
grew the more we worked together. And
When he
Yeah,
passed,
that was
him.
really hard. This year was hard. Like with the, I always say it wrong, but is it memorandum? No, what is it? How do they say it?
Memoriam.
oh, the
Memoriam.
in
Thank you.
memoriam, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
I agree.
I knew like 5 or 6 people that I really, really knew, and I was just
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
whoa, what is happening?
Yeah, it was
Yeah, it was a sad time.
tough
Yeah.
watching that. I never met Drake, but seeing the
Angel.
outpouring of love after his
Yeah.
passing was incredible.
Yeah.
And you guys all week for the anniversary stuff on air has been terrific. And today with Deirdre talking about him and the pancreatic. I mean, just even incorporating that into the anniversary that the hospital benefit is for pancreatic cancer. What a tribute.
It was very fast and very tragic, and it was just horrible.
Horrible. A fan said, their name is Karmic Chameleon, said we would be remiss not to mention the music of Marty Davich, the
Now there's
unforgettable.
another one.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah.
Gosh.
Beautiful.
Music.
He wrote such beautiful stuff when we were first starting out, and he was there maybe the first. Did he leave like before we left? Before I left?
Yeah.
5 years later. Yeah, he left early, but the stuff he wrote was always beautiful. I did a play in town playing Jim Morrison, and we needed these cues, music cues, just between scenes. And he said, "Just send me the script." He sent back this music, and the director put it in, and it was like he'd been watching rehearsals for a month. It was so beautiful, and so perfect for the show.
I introduced him to my best friend from high school, and they got married, and I was with her the night that we found out that he died. And I mean, it was just really, really tough. Loved him. And in fact, my husband and I, my family's very, very close to her family. And if anything happened, we go, Marty, like, how could he leave us? Darn it. But even my little granddaughter, who's, knew him, and she just told me yesterday, she said, we're all going to get together for Thanksgiving. She goes, but I'm so sad that Uncle Marty won't be there, but he's going to be in my heart. And I just thought, wow, this guy made such an impact on my family. Yeah. Love that guy.
Wow. Oh.
Yeah.
Stephen, like I said, 1985, here we are 40 years later. Could you have, and you were only hired for, a short period. Could you have ever imagined?
Never. When I took the contract, the agent I had at the time wanted to fire me. They said, if you take that job, we're done. And I said, I have 2 small children to take care of. I may never have an opportunity like this for the rest of my career. I'm not turning this down. And I said goodbye to them, and that was fine.
Yeah. Well, here we are.
So I never would have imagined. And Mary Beth and I have grown up together on the show and had babies, children and grandchildren now, and it's just absolutely amazing.
Wild. And I used to think that with Mac and of course now I'm having a senior moment. Mac and who was the beginning of the show? The matriarch killed me. I'm glad
Francis
I'm not the
Reed.
Yes,
Mac?
thank you. Oh my God, I was thinking
Alice.
Yes, thank you. But I know. Hello. Okay, we've been on too long. But I remember with them, because they were older when we met them, but just this full life that they had, and that they had experienced each other's lives too, which is really an amazing journey. And Steve and I are very lucky that way, that we've had that, and with our kids and all that.
We would like to be the matriarch and patriarch someday. Why not?
Okay.
Well, look at
we need the grandkids. We don't have any
Bill Hayes. He 99.
Gosh,
Come on.
That guy, he was amazing. I was in his very last scenes that he did, or that day. And he, amazing. 95, still doing it and rocking it. That's what we all hope for. Like when people say something about retiring, I'm like, actors retire? Like, retire from what? We love doing this.
Great flashbacks this week of Bill and Susan. Beautiful.
Great.
Beautiful. Mary Beth, you left a few times. Coming back to Kayla, did you discover something new about her?
Well, I will tell you, I never wanted to leave. It was never my choice. But in
I
fact,
did.
when I did leave the first time, I thought Stephen had left, and then we got a new regime, and they just kind of said later, and I was devastated. And then Shelley Curtis, that we were talking about earlier, she went to General Hospital, and then she called me up when I had just had a baby during that time, and she goes, "What are you doing?" I go, "I'm just hanging with this baby." And she said, "You need to come on the show." So that's when I went to General Hospital for 7 years, because she made a phone call. And then they kept throwing me off a balcony on General Hospital.
Oh, I came
times or
on.
whatever.
I came on, and we were
Oh
together
yeah,
for
and
a
then
little while.
they put us together, which wasn't as good as the Patch and Kayla thing. And
They were
then
trying to do that again.
the guy from Chris Goutman from As the World
Yeah.
Turns called me and said, "Come there." So people just called me up and said, "Come." So I was like, "Oh, okay." And then New York was super great fun, but my digestive system didn't love all that traveling. And so then Steve and I went back. And then it was again that they did like a, clearinghouse, and they got rid of a bunch of us. And so we were out, but it was only like a year or something like that. Then I went back. And now it's been since, I don't know, 2009 or something that there's been no breaks. So that's still a pretty long time.
2006, honey.
Yeah, but then, a couple years later,
Like a
that's when
married
they let us
couple
go
correcting
again.
her.
Yeah, they
What?
let us go again. That whole
Yeah,
group was
2006.
Deidre and everybody.
Yeah.
No, in like 8 or something.
Yeah, it was Drake and Deidre and me and you, and
And
that's
a
when they
couple of-
brought Galen and Martzoff on the show.
Oh yeah, right.
Because he had them from his show. The
Loving,
show
yeah.
prior.
Right. Oh, we're getting into the weeds now.
Into the
I
weeds.
don't know much more about
Soap
it.
history, all of our soap histories.
You're soap history.
But you know what? I never felt like anywhere was home. Like, to me, Days always seems like our home, and so.
More
Well,
than
I
any
think
other.
fans would definitely agree. And you two really helped define the term super couple. What do you think it really was about them that has endured for so many decades? I know the writing, but it's you. What do you think?
Well, Mary Beth always says it because we're great friends and we support each other. And if somebody's having trouble with something, we talk and we tell each other everything.
It's
And
interesting
that
too.
bleeds over into the work because the characters we're that tight in real life.
Yeah. I forgot now. I was going to say, if I don't interrupt you, then I lose my
Darn
train.
it. Yeah, I know. You interrupt a lot.
So funny.
But I love it.
Favorite storylines?
Yeah. When Kayla lost her hearing and was deaf, the scenes that she did, and I went back and looked at a lot of this stuff. She could not speak, could not really, she was plain, deaf, had to learn sign language, and everything was on her face. It was amazing. What are you doing there, honey? You're messing things up.
Just straightening it out. I sat in front of a window because it was sunny, but now it's dark. And so I'm like, oh, that didn't work out so well. But it looks pretty lit up. I don't know why.
It's pixelated now. You don't have as good a connection, love. Can you see your face?
I still see her pretty good.
Okay, all right. As long as you see her. Okay.
It might be on your end.
So that story, and Mary Beth always wants to say Emily and Gideon, which was a wonderful story. Went on location.
Because it also got to play the love story again, in a
play a
different
love
way.
story with 2 different characters, which was brilliant. Again, the writing,
Very cute.
I don't know if you know that story, Alan.
Emily
and Gideon. See, I knew.
Gotta look it up.
He's looking like. What
No, I knew
the
it was.
hell
I knew it was Mary Beth's favor because I did read that.
Yeah.
Well, your wedding is a favorite to the fans. Is there a moment from your wedding, 1988, that stands out?
When she whispered, "Steve, I do."
Yeah.
Then she starts saying, she starts repeating her vows.
Behind the scenes, they shot it
can't
out on a
beat that.
boat, and they had these giant carbon lights up in the sky. So I swear, I have to take my glasses. It was like this. They come to you, do your side, and you'd be like this.
Because you
It's so bright. I can't keep my eyes open. And it was really.
We weren't used to that because
it wasn't
we didn't usually shoot outdoors, and then with the lights, as well as the sun, it really is pretty
and then
tough.
Did you take me off in like a gondola or something?
I did.
Yeah, very romantic.
It's very romantic. It was also romantic.
Right. Even the whole yellow rose thing was a Stephen thing. I don't think it wasn't from them, right, Stephen?
I always thought it was my idea, but then I realized that this is pretty awful, though. I think I left you a yellow rose in your apartment the time I
In the
ransacked.
beginning.
Yes.
Like it was in your mouth.
And I don't know how that became our signature, our love signature.
Your stick.
I thought, I thought, oh my
Interesting.
God, I'm not going to talk about that too much because that was kind of bad. That when I was
Yeah, but you know how it
terrorizing
is on
her.
daytime. Things that were bad, you forgive people, and like I don't know if I should go into too many characters, but like Jack, he did some terrible things to me, and now he's our best
Yeah,
bud. And then 20 years or 25 years, and then I'm mad at him again or something. Like it's very. This just depends on what mood they're in.
Yeah, depends on the day.
Jen says Steve always knows when people are lying or up to something. I love it. No one can get anything over on him.
That's right. That's why I'm a very good private detective. Black patch. Yeah, that's right. Steve is he's very, very intuitive, and you
he's
can't
a street
really
smart guy.
You can't pull the wool over his eye.
Funny.
Somebody's asking, did Kayla tally punch Steve in the boxing ring? Oh, at the immunity center.
Oh,
wow.
At the emergency center.
Yeah, but yeah, no, I don't remember.
You punched me. Yes,
barely remember that.
She did punch me. Oh, but not for real. If they're asking if she actually punched me, no. We had boxing gloves. We were in the boxing ring at the emergency center. I know you don't, honey. You know, one day we have to sit down and watch all this stuff together.
He always says that. It's like, okay.
It's hard. I can't imagine the amount of material you learn, the amount of days you've been on days, to remember that.
That's why you don't. As soon as we finish shooting it, you don't remember it then. If they'd call you back from your dressing room, you would remember it.
Mary Beth walks off set. She's got that script that's all wrapped up in the can. And then that's it.
That's it.
We'll never remember another word. In fact, I'm the same way. I keep my scripts, but I don't remember. If you ask me the next day what I said, what the lines were,
No.
I couldn't think of the first line. I swear.
Me either.
It just goes away because, well, part of the reason is we have more stuff coming and we have to pack that in. And It's getting a little harder with the brain cells popping like every 5 seconds. But I need a pick me up, so I'm going to have from the party.
What does it say?
This is what we got. Happy 60th anniversary days. This was our party favor.
Are they
M&Ms? It's M&Ms.
Nice.
I love it.
They all say Days of Our Lives 60, and I'm going to pop a couple right now.
Wow, lucky you.
I love that. Beth says, couldn't love you both more. You two were my secret friends since I was 15 years old. I depended on your friendship during my teen years and still love your storyline today.
That's so nice, isn't it? That's so
very
nice.
Sweet. Yeah.
I mean, the impact, really, I think to be in people's lives for that amount of years is sometimes more than they see their own family.
Yeah.
Talk about
it's nice now when the years that we do the Day of Days, because you could actually meet people and talk to people, even though it's brief. It's always too brief, but it's nice that we get a chance to do that, because otherwise you're just working in your warehouse with your friends and you don't even know it is out there,
Is there a fan moment for each of you that stands out, or some moment, knowing the impact that Days has had on, like somebody like that?
There's some people that we have seen over and over and over again and then become friends, and we, see them and they're very generous to our causes. And there's a lot of special people out there. Stephen has a lot of friends.
I think, to your point, Alan, there are a lot of people who were deeply affected by, especially those stories in the 80s. And I've had many, many times when people have come up to me and said how much they loved our story and how much it meant to them and how it got them through. I have a very good friend. My wife and I have a friend named Vicki Levy in New York. She fought to get backstage to meet me one time. I was doing some car show with Drake and some other people. And, there were, back in the day, there were like thousands of people waiting in line. And she fought to get backstage to meet me. And when she did meet me, she told me that she was very ill for a couple of years and that our stories got her through, that without Days of Our Lives, she was so depressed at that time and so sick. And she got through it because of us, because of our stories. And that, those kinds of stories. And this woman became a dear friend of the family.
Wow.
And so we're talking, when that happened, it was like 1987, maybe, when we met. So we've been great friends ever since.
I love that.
That's
I love
nice.
that. One of the fans loved when you were talking about watching scenes together. They said, yes, please watch Steve and Kayla scenes together and share your memories with us.
We got to do that. We got to
Maybe
do
we'll
a
do
thing.
that someday, Stephen. That might be fun. We should do that.
Do it on TikTok.
Yeah, do it on social. People with it, watch while you're
Why not?
and comment. I know, Stephen, if
That's
you
kind
can
of
stick
fun.
around, Mary Beth has to leave in a couple of minutes. Is there a
Really?
moment that she does? She's got a
Look
event.
There's Michael. He's back
There's
there.
my
What are you
man.
looking at, Michael?
Well, we
Get
have
in
this thing
here.
we have to go do. So he just said he's leaving. But yeah,
It's right
I
across
know
the
run.
street.
Is there a moment that you're most proud of working together? That scenes or
A moment?
a storyline that.
God. Well,
I do love that scene we did in the that chemical closet that time.
oh yeah.
I like when they give us some humor sometimes. It's
It was
fun.
a cleaning closet in the hospital, and there were lots of
It was
chemicals.
the year that Bo died.
Yeah, that's
That was
right. And
bad.
we were getting high on bleach or
Chemical
something,
fumes.
whatever was in there, because some
Yeah,
cleaning
but it's just nice to do some
cleaning fluid.
lighthearted things once in a while. That's rare.
I played the harp. You were getting really tipsy.
Tipsy.
And you started dancing, and
Yeah,
it was fun. That was a good
times.
scene.
We're lucky. We say that all the time.
You are very lucky. Very lucky.
Well,
We are very
thanks
lucky
for having
you
me
joined us.
on.
Thank you,
Thank
Mary
you.
Beth, for being
All right,
here.
see you tomorrow,
Congrats
Stephen.
on 60 years.
Okay, see you tomorrow, baby.
Thank you.
I love you.
Oh,
Love you too. Bye.
learn those.
Now I
Learn
can figure
those
out how to turn it
lines.
off.
Yeah, learn those.
Yeah.
Get the grammar down tonight, honey.
Okay, I don't know how to turn it off. Okay, bye.
Bye. Stephen, Days has evolved through so many eras, different writers, networks, and now streaming on Peacock. What do you think has kept the heart of the show beating through all that change?
Well, obviously it's the fans, because without their support, without those 2 million eyeballs they got at Peacock when we went to Peacock, we may have not made it. And it was soaps. They were at one point a dying breed. I think that now that we're going to streaming, not so much anymore. I think streaming is going to save daytime television. And it's all about the fans. It's always been about the fans. They see us 5 days a week, and they become very attached. We become part of their families. Primetime shows, they're on maybe 20. They used to be 26 weeks. Now they're even fewer than that. And once a week, they don't get so attached. But with daytime, they have more opportunity to really come into our lives and have us come into their lives. And that's just how it's worked. And I have nothing but gratitude for the fans, because they really are the lifeblood. I always say this, of daytime television, and they keep us going. They keep us employed.
It's true. And tuning in not only 5 days a week, but for 40, 50, and 60 years. I mean, that is an incredible amount of time to devote, right, to a
It
show.
sure is.
Stephen, what led you into acting?
I'm sorry? You're breaking up a little.
What led you into acting?
What led me?
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, that's kind of a long, convoluted story, kind of crazy. But everybody knows the story. I've talked about it before, but maybe I can do it quickly. I came to California when I was 19, and I got involved in a spiritual pursuit, and I wanted to be a monk. And I thought I was going to give my life to that. And I was celibate for 3 years, and I ate a lot of ice cream and watched a lot of movies. And I decided that I didn't want to do that after 3 years of that. And but I was still part of the part of the organization. And a friend of mine came to me and said, "I'm going to LA City College to audition for the theater department. Would you want to come along?" And I said, "Yeah, sure." When I was a kid, I watched all the variety shows, and I was so impressed, especially with the Mickey Mouse Club, because these were kids who could do these things, who could sing and dance and act. And I really was dreaming about it when I was a kid, but I never thought, that was something that could materialize in my life. I just didn't, being from where I was and the family and whatever, it wasn't something that I thought would happen. So this person said, let's go. And I said, okay, I'll audition. I auditioned, I got in. And the first time I was on stage in front of a large audience, and I felt that connection, that real back and forth connection with all of these people, I thought, I think I can do this. I think this is something I can do. And I just fell in love with it. And that's how I became an actor. That's how I discovered that I wanted to do that. Yeah.
That's a great story. If, after 40 years playing Patch, if you could go back and give advice to your younger self from 1985, what would that be?
Don't spend so much money. Not that I was making all that much back then. I don't know. I don't know, really. I guess maybe slow down a little bit. Slow down and smell the roses, as it were. Because I think we were so busy back then and working like 4 or 5 days a week and lots of scenes. I mean, we were, they had fewer characters on the shows back then, and we had a bulk of the material. We were just so busy working that it was hard to think about anything else. It was hard to be present anywhere else. So I would say to slow down and get your priorities straight and appreciate every moment of your life. Now, here we are, it's 40 years later, and time is running out. So, and young people never believe it when you say life goes like that. They don't believe it. And it takes getting into your 60s and 70s, even 50s, to realize that, to understand that. And that's kind of a shame. But you can't tell young people that. They won't listen. And I didn't listen when I was that age.
It's really true. It really is true. Iris says, I only pay for Peacock because of Days and mainly for Steve and Kayla.
Oh, Iris. Is it Iris or is this?
Iris.
Because sometimes there's an Iris who pronounces her name Iris.
Oh, maybe.
This may be Iris because I've met her many times.
Oh, it might be.
That's
Keisha,
nice.
Keisha says, so grateful for so many years with you both.
Oh, thank you, Keisha. She's another one who's been with us the whole time. Lovely Keisha. Yeah. I know both of these ladies. And did Peacock, did you hear that, Peacock? She only pays because of Days.
I'll make sure to play that clip again. It's so true, but I think I agree with you. Streaming is a godsend for daytime because it gives us the opportunity to watch it when we want to watch it and rewatch it.
Yeah, it's great.
We used to have the VHS tapes and all of that stuff.
Wow, yeah. And if somebody forgot to tape it and you're getting a fight with your partner, and, I hear these stories all the time.
Mothers would break their kids' necks if they didn't tape their shows. Absolutely.
Yeah.
If you could choose one word that captures Steve and Kayla, what would it be?
Trust.
And that's what friendship is, right?
Yeah.
It really is.
It's that in real life, and it's that also on TV.
I was going to ask this earlier because I mean, like, you talked about that. Mary Beth was brought in for you, for Steve.
Yeah.
And who was casting at that time? Like, because that is magic, you know?
That's magic. I'm not sure if Doris was still there or if they changed casting directors at that point. I do not remember.
But I mean, it really, it is amazing when these couples work like you and Mary
Sure.
Beth do.
Yeah.
And how grateful, I know how grateful you both are, but the fans too. I mean, how lucky we are to experience that because of that perfect match that they made.
Yeah. Yeah. It's a collaboration of all the elements, really.
Yeah. Writing, all of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Stephen, thank you so much for celebrating with us today.
Well,
I really
thank you.
appreciate the time.
It's been a pleasure, Alan. Thanks. We'll have to do this again.
Yes, I hope we do. We do.
All right.
Go learn your lines. And thanks so much.
I do have quite a bit tomorrow. I have to do that. See you later, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody, for joining us today. I mean, what an incredible, talented group of people they are. Thank you to Stephen and Mary Beth for spending their time and sharing their incredible journey with us. And congratulations to Days of Our Lives on 60 years. Remember, you can tune in to Days of Our Lives weekdays on Peacock. Join me live next Thursday, November 20th at 7:30 p.m. Eastern as I welcome Lucas Adams from The Young and the Restless. Lucas just joined the cast as Noah Newman, the prodigal son of Nick and Sharon. And I wanted to remind everybody before we wrap up, I have started something new here in the locker room. We've just launched YouTube memberships. By clicking the join button, you'll get access to exclusive Q&As, our monthly rewind, community chat, special badges and emojis. Plus, you'll be helping support the work I do to bring these guests and these conversations to life. And of course, everything you already enjoy with the locker room will always remain free. If you haven't yet subscribed, you can do so down below. And remember, if you liked today's episode, which I sure hope you did, please click the like button. Have a great weekend. And as always, everybody, please stay safe.